So I think that's a big advantage. You don't have to think of whether it'll work, in Punjab, and then whether it'll work somewhere in West Bengal. So it is not that which is a constraint sometimes I think the Hindi films carry.
Cinema is here to stay for a very, very long time. I don't think cinema is not going away anywhere. But it is a question of in the immediate future, how is it going to perform?
As a director, your job becomes so much easier when you have somebody like Mohanlal or Kamal.
Mr. Jayendra, you're having some really big names as far as actors are concerned. There's Surya, there's Vijay Sethupathi, Ashok Selvan is there. Mr. Prakash Raj, I believe, is part of it as well. These are big names. How's the experience of getting all of them together? I'm sure that, as you mentioned earlier, that everyone was willing to participate. But still, these are really big names, and it must have been quite a task of doing the coordinations for such huge stars.
Actually, when all these people accepted to be part of it spontaneously because it is for the industry, and when it was for the industry, like we didn't have to manage them, they were giving to the industry. So it was really not a huge task on our hands to manage anybody, because they were giving to the industry spontaneously, willingly, on their own. So I think it is a joint initiative of the industry, and therefore everybody treated it like that, and gave like that, and took responsibility like that.
Mani sir, it is often said that the South industry, they are coming up with far better storytelling, even in terms of technology. They're having some amazing projects that have been put together when it comes to technology. What do you think is there in the South industry, and what is it that they're doing right, that somehow trailblazing cinema is coming out? A lot of South cinema is being remade in Bollywood and Hindi as well. What do you think you guys are doing right that is so remarkable?
I think we have one advantage, that we have smaller scale. We're not doing to pan-Indian audience necessarily. So, we can do a film in Kerala which is set so deeply in Kerala, and you're not thinking whether it will be understood elsewhere. But the fact that it gets so nicely rooted makes it universal, makes it appeal. The honesty takes it across different regions completely. So I think that's a big advantage. You don't have to think of whether it'll work, in Punjab, and then whether it'll work somewhere in West Bengal. So it is not that which is a constraint sometimes I think the Hindi films carry. And I think that's a very huge advantage that we have. Plus, I think there are a lot of new talent that is coming up, youngsters, a lot of writers who are coming. I think we are at the threshold of a huge change.
I say you have a unique distinction that you've told stories that have been pan-India many times. Be it Roja was Kashmir, Bombay was, of course, Bombay. Yuva was Bengal. Dil Se was Northeast. How has it been important for you to tell these pan-India stories, and to also understand the nuances of various socio-political element that was so intrinsic to those stories?
I think as far as stories are concerned, I think anywhere that you can relate to, is a story that you can tell. So it should be something which you can connect to in terms of the genuineness, in terms of the emotion that is behind it. I think then the region becomes, a fact that you can learn. You can be there, you can, gather information, you can live there. I mean, the rest can be acquired, whereas the idea and the honesty should be something which is heartfelt. And the moment you're able to make that connect, the rest is to do with research and to do with, understanding.
We were talking about the South cinema short while back, and so there's this unique distinction that you're having. You've worked with some amazing actors, and in an interview you were asked that if you have to choose between Mohanlal and Kamal Haasan as your favorite actors, you said that you can't choose your favorite. And Mohanlal sir is a huge figure in Malayalam industry, and Kamal sir, of course, especially Tamil industry. What do you think is so special about these two actors that makes them so irreplaceable and giant?
They're very good. They're absolutely good. There's nothing more I can say. I mean, they're just fantastic. As a filmmaker, as a director, your job becomes so much easier when you have somebody like Mohanlal or Kamal in your set, to take care of it. It's such a pleasure. You enjoy it thoroughly to have somebody who's able to bring scenes across alive. I mean, and there are a lot of other actors who are, doing extremely well also. So I think it's I think it is it's when you have a very good actor who's also a star that becomes a big plus point.
Many a times you've given chances to a lot of newcomers and youngsters, and they've become so huge afterwards. Like say someone like Aditi Rao Hadri, I've spoken to her several times, and she's a huge fan of yours, and she's given some fantastic performances in your films. What is it that you look in newcomers that is and what she told me was that you are very good with actors in terms of making them feel very at ease, because anyone who comes in front of you, they have this awe factor around you, but you make them feel very, very comfortable. Why is it important for you to give chances to newcomers and make them be themselves?
I look at it this way. I'm not giving a chance to a newcomer. I don't think of it that way. In some films and some characters work very well when you have an established actor. I think it works very well. Whereas with certain other characters, you feel a newer face will help you. So as a director, you're just a selfish person. You do what is good for the film, and if a new face will add more value to the film, then you go for a new face. It's not that you're saying I'm giving break to new people. That is not the goal. The goal is to make a good film. So when you pick a new face, then, then you try to get whether once you're picked and you started working, doesn't matter whether they're established or they're new. You're just trying to work together. It's an actor and a director. So just that equation that you work on and make sure together we are able to convert something, which is on paper into a real life character.
But you apparently shoot for auditions for a few of your actors yourself. Like you shot for the audition of Madhavan, Maddie, and that is something which is unheard of as well. Because mostly that is something that is done by assistants.
I think that's the easiest thing to do, unless you are going to do plenty of auditions, in which case you get it done and then you see and shortlist it. But at some point of time, you have to deal with the actor. You have to audition with them, see whether you work well together. And otherwise, it's very difficult.
Mr. Jayendra, when it comes to the theatrical business of movies, what is your estimate that by when do you think things are going to get better? We've had a very positive example of Master as far as Tamil industry is concerned, that it has done really well. Be it in Tamil Nadu or Kerala, it has done exceedingly well. So when do you think maybe things may get better, and what is the future of theatre business?
I think cinema is here to stay for a very, very long time. I don't think cinema is not going away anywhere. But it is a question of, in the immediate future, how is it going to perform? I'm sure that it is going to have fits and starts, because of you don't know when the next wave is going to be and how long it's going to last. So I think once we get through the pandemic, I think cinema will be back in its form, that it is something that I don't think people are going to run away from.
All right. But you're hopeful that things will get better?
As good as anybody else in terms of how we get through this pandemic. But once the pandemic is done, I'm very confident that cinema will be back in a big way.
Mani sir, in the last 1 year or so, since the pandemic, we have spoken to a lot of directors and actors in the South industry, because the movies they're releasing on OTT platforms, and they are being watched by everyone. Now, do you look at this entire, in a way, change of sorts, the way it has been happening? The language is no more a barrier, and people are enjoying and watching good cinema, irrespective of the region or the language. Do you find that like a progressive and a positive step in the right direction as far as in a country like India,
Yeah,
with so many languages?
Yeah, 100%. I think the desire was always there. Only there was no way that you could watch a Bengali film here in Chennai. Now that is possible. So it opens up avenues. It opens up, the as a film goer, it opens up the world to me. I can see anything which is out there, which I like, and I can follow. So I think it's a big plus for the filmmakers.
Your next film is once again, it's a big film, but can we see you directing proper film or like a series for any OTT platform? Is that something that you would want to do, sir?
Yeah, as long as I have a story to say, which will be right for it, definitely, 100%.
Thank you so much, sir. Lovely talking to you, both of you, and thank you very much. And looking forward to Navarasa. And thank you very much for talking to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.